Football has taught me so many lessons in life. Um, how to be a man, how to be a friend, how to be just a good person. Everything I've learned in a football field. Being in a locker room, there's no better feeling than that.
This is the Football Pantheon Podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Green. In each episode, I'm taking you through the football, the facts, and the figures in the modern game. Hello, and welcome to the Football Pantheon. We talk the football, the facts, and the figures. I'm your host, Ashley Green. And today I have Suli, formerly with the USL with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds and the DC United Academy. Suli, man, thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure, man. Hopefully you've been well. You're enjoying the summer of football so far with the World Cup. So
Yeah, man, absolutely. Who's your team to win, by the way? Who do you have winning the whole thing?
I think I have Portugal. I think I have the
Okay,
Portuguese this time. I think Ronaldo. This is his time. I think Messi had his
okay,
time last World Cup. I think this is Ronaldo's.
okay. Now, who do you have in the final with Portugal?
I haven't even looked at the bracket so far, but hopefully I'm thinking either France or maybe England. I gotta look who's on
England.
the same
Okay,
bracket.
interesting choice. Yeah, I know that England. They dropped. They didn't drop. They didn't select three or four very good players as the starters. So if they can go the distance, it'd be cool for sure. So, give me kind of the overview of your journey of how you came to the USL and the East United Academy, and kind of when you stopped and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's just my journey. It's like every other kid, I believe. I just fell in love with the game. My family is West African from Sierra Leone, so I grew up with the game. My dad is a big Chelsea fan, so growing up, it was always Chelsea on TV. These were like the Drogba days, the Mourinho days. So I grew up just watching the game. I mean, and then just like every other kid, you want to sit next to your dad, watch the games, and then I would just go outside, try to play. You know, just play with my friends in school, in elementary school. I grew up in Reston. So it was luckily my neighborhood was all about football. All my friends played. They're all from Central America, so it was great. At recess, we would all play. We were on the same team. I did the whole rec thing, and then we did travel, and then I went to another travel team, and then every year, I kept getting better and better, and then by the time when I was 13, 14, I made the jump to the DC United Academy at that time. And it was great for me. Got to play with some really, really good players from the area. Um, did that for a couple of years, then ended up getting to the youth national team, started getting invited to camps and that really opened my eyes. And then getting at that time, it wasn't homegrown stuff wasn't really big. It was more the college path, and I was getting different looks from different schools. I wanted to stay local. My family was local. Wanted them to come see me, so I decided to go to the University of Maryland. Did that, played there again. Some really, really good players there. The football aspect was amazing. Coach Sasha really helped me out a lot. My teammates was still super close, and we won a lot of games. We played, we had fun, everything. Um, a college student, I did it also football wise, so it was a fun thing to balance. And then after that, I was still involved with DC at that time. It was still the whole homegrown thing. In the summer, I'll play with them. or if there's any training opportunities with the first team, I'll do that. And then after that, it was unfortunately I went to preseason with them after college. It didn't work out. So then I started my USL journey, going to different teams, trying to find a good fit. And then unfortunately that didn't work out as well. So I stayed home, just playing now like men's league, UPSL, whatever you can do. There's Hispanic leagues, just doing anything just to play, Um, and then once after a couple of years, it was more repetitive. It's like, you know what? Let me try to focus on my next life while still being involved in football. Whether it's helping out becoming players, started getting to coaching, which I really really loved. And yeah, that's my journey so far. So
Awesome, awesome. And which position did you play?
I was all over the place, honestly. Growing up, I started top of the field as a striker. As every kid, you want to score goals growing up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and then a little bit in midfield, more of a six, type eight stuff. My favorite players were always those number eights, that position. I really, and then high school, did that, played a little bit of defense, and then when I went to the academy, because everybody at that time, all the best players used to play in the middle, so I wanted to fit in where I could get in. Again, I had really, really good teammates that are really, really good players. And I was left-footed, so you know what? I was like, let me drop in the back line. I played defense. I played left back. Anywhere to get on the field. I played left mid. Anywhere, honestly.
yeah.
So
And where did and where did Pittsburgh and DC United kind of play you? Was it midfield? Was it forward?
DC, I was more in the back, left back, center back. That's where even my later, I think my last year at Maryland was the same, center and left. Again, just left footed. I think it was a natural progression. I love to defend. Honestly, the older I got, I really loved it. It's it's something that I took pride in. And I wanted to be the best defender as possible. So I gravitated towards in the back.
Okay, word, word. And your dad was a Chelsea supporter, but were you
Yeah.
also Chelsea? Or were you somebody else?
No, so my uncle was a Liverpool fan growing up. So he was the one that was basically like taking me out, just showing me how to kick a ball and stuff. So I gravitated towards Liverpool. So there was always a little bit of friction at the house, but at that time it was tough. They were really good. They were really, really good. But I my I would say one of my favorite players, even to this day, Steven Gerrard. So
Mm,
I used to
mm,
watch his little highlights, which is hitting rockets, and I would try
mm,
to
mm,
I would try to do that every opportunity that I can. So Stevie
mm.
G was my favorite player at Liverpool to this
Okay,
day. So,
okay, there we go, there we go. I was going to ask you who you kind of grew up idolizing. I know you mentioned the eights and the sixes were kind of your your favorite positions. I was thinking about Lampard, also, where he played. Also,
yeah,
Claude Makelele,
yeah,
The
yeah,
Makelele
yeah,
role. Conte, also at Chelsea as well, and of course Leicester. But yeah, I mean those are some very, very strong names, man. I think when you're young, it's important to have a player that you have in mind. Who do you want to play as? Always, always. I grew up. Um, I didn't, play in the USL or anything, but I just, through travel and rec league and stuff, and I was a striker. And for me, that player was Louis Saha and Drogba. Those are the two that I
okay,
wanted to emulate.
yeah,
So I think it's important to have that image in your mind when you're young. Who do you want to, who do you idolize? Who do you um, want to form your game after and stuff?
yeah. No, even I try to tell even younger players today or kids that I coach, watch the game. Just pick a player. Try to. try to mimic his movement. There's nothing like watching the game and learning, see what those players do. Yeah, I love those type of players like Steven Gerrard. I remember there was a couple years Liverpool had the midfield of Mascherano, Xavi Alonso, and Stevie G. Oh man, those guys. I always wanted to, especially Alonso. You watch him, the way he hit the ball, it was flawless, like pinpoint. So I always wanted to mimic that and try to learn from those guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when you were playing, how did your personality come into how you played? Were you more outgoing? Were you more reserved? How did your emotions and your personality affect your game?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think if you can ask all my friends that know me, I'm a little bit reserved, but for me, during any game, I have like this switch. I don't know where it came from. It's just I guess I'm just super competitive. People always used to tell me that I'm a completely different person from the guy that's playing with than my day-to-day personality. But I would just say playing style, I'm super aggressive. I think that's what somebody would describe me. Rowdy. I love defending, so I love the hard tackles and stuff like that. But outside of that, so I'm very reserved. It's just something when I'm playing, it just clicks that I keep going.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And when you were playing, I want you to pick for me to picture having to juggle work or school with, your training. What had to, come second to playing, as far as sacrificing. What did you have to give up in order to pursue, the career with Pittsburgh and DC United?
Yeah, it's it honestly for me, I didn't really think of it as a sacrifice. It was just something that I think that I really, really enjoyed. And I knew just from talking to people or coaches, they always told me that it's something that um, if you have a talent in something, you cannot be a normal um, kid in a sense, a normal teenager, because I used to get out of school, um, taking back to high school or middle school, and I'll go straight to training, while everybody's hanging out, playing video games. Everybody's on Call of Duty, playing video games and stuff like that. I couldn't, but I knew that I was on the field. I was getting better. I was learning. I think there's a natural sacrifice. I think as a player, even in college, obviously you can't be a regular student like you really want to. You can't do what regular students do instead of staying up late, going out, doing that stuff. I think that's just natural sacrifice for the love of the game. That's how you get better. I think every footballer had to give up something, whether it's their social life or missing family events. I think that's just the price of enjoying the game and playing at a high level.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to play a clip of a recent match between PSG and Bayern Munich
Okay.
to get your take. Specifically, I'm going to play a clip for you of Michael Elise. He's of course, the French winger that's with France at the World Cup this
Yeah.
coming summer, and uh, I think he's, for me, even with teams like with Mbappe and Turkey and all them, to me, I think might be their wild card. He's their
Yeah.
match maker. So if you could just kind of break down, I know you were a number six midfielder, but could you kind of break down, for me, I know that was a very simple clip. He's done a whole lot crazier things in games past year,
Yeah.
but
But
talking about just his story, his game, now he's grown from being a player at Crystal Palace to being one of the first names on the France team sheet. Can you just kind of walk us through like what that's yeah like his story and how good he is?
I mean, watching him at Crystal Palace a couple years ago, you can always see the talent, but I think that jump is crazy that he's taken the last 2 years. Even that little clip, it shows he's very versatile. You know, he can come in. I think he's in the pockets right there, behind the midfielders, and he can pick that ball up as a 10. And one of his great um, abilities is just to find those little space. Now it's going to be really, really intriguing to see where France uses him. I know they're probably going to use him as a right winger, but he can come in and play as a 10 easily. You can see that his spatial awareness, his scanning, get the ball between lines, his ball carrying. You saw that he sees the space. He's very comfortable with the ball carrying and also the strikes. I think that's him in a nutshell. So it's going to be intriguing. I think if France has a chance again to repeat, he needs to have a really good World Cup, and also he can play on both flanks, come in the middle. I think probably he can do a little bit of the false nine as well. So I mean, that's as a coach, that's like a dream player to have.
It is, and you have Portugal in the final. So I'm gonna ask you about Vitinha. Uh,
Uh,
how? Because I know that Luka Modric uh, called Vitinha the best midfielder in the world sometime
yeah.
earlier this year. How good do you think Vitinha can become?
Again, just like him, just like Elise's story. I know he had a crazy story of being at Wolves. Just wasn't the right fit. And then that's also the thing about football. I think it's just about the right timing for every player. It's the right timing, you know. He, the PSG system, Luis Enrique fits him, and this is his time. You know, I think just I can't even describe him in a sense because he's a little bit of like a hybrid. He's not a traditional robust like six in a sense, like the Makaleles, those Xavi Alonso's, those Rodri, Fabinho type players. He has a little bit of like those six traditional six. They're just destroyers, but he can also play. He looks like he's not even trying. He's gliding past defenders, like, and his spatial awareness scans the field. He knows what's going on around him, and I think he's a complete midfielder, and I think that's what the game is going towards. Those type of midfielders that are a little bit of hybrid. They can play the 6, the 8, the 10. They can move around, and that midfield three with PSG, with him and what's his name, Neves.
Hmm.
It's amazing. It's amazing
Hmm.
to watch him. I think it's him, Pedri, De Jong, that type of players. They have everything. They have the ball carrying. They can find a pass. They can get stuck in. They can dribble past you. So and they're press resistant. You can't really press them as a as another midfielder because they can outpass you or they can run by you. So I mean, good for him. I'm super happy for him. I know he had a lot of adversity when he first started. So, but now the world is his stage, you know. And again, that's why I think I'm going for Portugal. That midfield three with him, Neves, and Fernandez, it's crazy. It's just to think about it.
Yeah.
It's a
And
really good
Bernardo
one.
too. Bernardo as
Yeah.
well. He was also in
Oh,
there.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's also crazy that I was looking at the roster last week and they didn't select Japolinia for the roster, and I was like, I'm like, I mean, it's still a stacked midfield, but I
Yeah,
mean,
that's the riches. That's the rich that they have. And then João Palhinha he's a little bit of a traditional six,
he
like that
is,
robust. He likes to destroy, just play the simple pass, which is good to have. But I think what's his name, Ruben Neves. He's that type a little bit. So, oh, him too. He's in the midfield. That's a great sub to have. Maybe in the 85th minute, you want to shut the game out, put him in. Yeah, it's it's amazing just to watch him. The things
mhm.
he does with the ball, his touch, how clean he is in possession, and how smart he is and off the ball. It's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, time for some like what I call football IQ, just some trivia questions about the sport and general knowledge. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
So, number one, which nation won the first FIFA World Cup in 1930?
I think it's Uruguay.
Yep,
Uruguay.
Uruguay's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're in the number six role, right? Your other midfield partner is far up the field and loses the ball, and two midfielders come down towards you, right? It's a 2v1 in midfield.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you do? Do you A, close down the one with the ball, or do you contain them both, wait to make a mistake, or do you just contain, waiting for the defenders to show up? What would you do?
Oof. I think firstly it depends what side, what part of the field um, that this action is taking place. But my first instinct is just to contain. If you're anytime you get in a 2v1, people are running at you. First thing you try to contain. Now, hopefully, those 1, 2, 3 seconds that you're containing, hopefully your teammates are recovering. And then once you see that, then you see you have a chance to win the ball, or even sometimes, again, depending on the side of the field, you take a tactical foul. You try to win the ball, you stop the ball as soon as possible. But yeah, I think my first instinct was try to contain, and then just try to get my teammates back. Hopefully,
Okay, cool. And for the number six, what's the most important attribute? Is it stamina, position, or tactical awareness to read the game?
it's a good question. That's a good question. I think you have to read the game. You have to read the game. I'm thinking of it in the sense that your positioning is everything. If also it depends if you're playing with two sixes or one. I'm thinking of it as being you're just playing with one. You have to be smart, read the game. You necessarily don't have to be the super athlete and all that stuff. You just have to read the game. Like we talked about players like Conte, how smart he is. It seems like he's always on the right position. That natural instinct, just to see the danger and and cut it out. And then I think of like a Busquets. He just sits there. I think he's one of the main reasons that great Barcelona teams over the years, just to sit there, read the game. Necessarily, he's not the biggest, strongest, fastest guy on the field, but super smart, super smart.
Hmm. Okay. Who is the all-time top scorer in the men's World Cup tournament?
Ooh, Thinking German guy. Close it? Miloslav Klose?
It is. Yep, that's him.
Really?
You know how many goals he has for bonus?
I remember him. I think his last World Cup. I remember him scoring a goal, and I remember that they said he passed Ronaldo or something. The Brazilian Ronaldo. I would say 12,
16. 16
16.
goals. Yeah,
Wow.
which is incredible feat. Okay, so we're gonna change it up a little bit. Go for some geography. All right. What is the largest country in the world by land area?
Russia.
Yeah, Russia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's pretty basic. Yeah, simple one. Yeah. So now into chemistry, right? How good were you in chemistry and science?
Bro.
Okay.
All right, let me see. Let me
Okay.
see.
What is the chemical symbol for gold on the table of elements?
I cannot answer that. That is that
Okay.
that is that is
Yeah, I'm
beyond my
diversifying your knowledge a little bit.
yeah. I
It's
remember
AU.
that periodic table. Oh man,
Yeah, it's
that was a
AU.
killer.
Yeah, AU is the symbol for gold.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, I know you coach players as well, so I want to ask you this question. If you could add any non-football skill to any player overnight, what would it be? Either public speaking, accounting, video editing, or sales? And which of these four would have the biggest long-term impact, do you think?
I think sales, sales.
Sales. Okay. Why
I think
sales?
the that outgoing personality, just being able to talk to people, be approachable, be likable, be able to sell yourself. I think even now, you just not just in football, you look at all the players. I think that are most marketable, that are loved by everybody. They're great. They're very personal. They're great salesmen. Now I'm thinking of like Shaq, by the way. Like his personality, everybody loves Shaq. Like everybody loves him. So he's seems like, and he's like in 1,000 commercials. He can pretty much do anything, any commercial wise, I think. And I'm trying to think of somebody in the football world that's similar, that's very likable. Uh, I think maybe it's a little bit harder for us. We don't really see those type of players, um, just because maybe thinking about like the European leagues, we don't really see their commercials and stuff. So I'm not sure what they're doing back there. But I automatically think of like our American sports, like people that are just personable. I think if you can sell yourself, just being a approachable, likable person, I think that's a very good skill to have. I think footballers, like I'll tell myself, I was very reserved. I didn't want to speak. I didn't like talking. So that's something that I wish I would have developed earlier.
Cool. So, when you were playing Suli, can you talk about a bit of the resources that you didn't get when you were playing that you kind of wish you had? Um, what did you have to figure out for yourself when you were playing that you wish was kind of there for you, so it'd be easier for you just to play?
Yeah, no, great question. Well, that's a two-part to that. First, in my say, I think just in my little bit of generation, a little bit older, there wasn't a lot of resources in a sense that there are different avenues that you could play that is right now that's available for like a 20-year-old kid right now or a 19-year-old kid. Even if the college path is not for you, there's other avenues. You know, you can play USL now. There's two, two, three divisions now in USL. We didn't have that option, you know. And even MLS, even the MLS Next academies or the Eastern North Academy, there's so many different paths, so many different ways that you can be seen, you know. Even now, you go to any game, there's videos, you can clip them up. I, we didn't have that in that sense. It was very it was very old school back then. But I just wish that a little bit of exposure, just to just the knowledge of, hey, just to, if this didn't work out, this is what you got to do. But now there's so many resources, you know, on the internet. You're giving out knowledge so somebody can watch you. A kid can watch you. A 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid can watch you and just learn just a little bit of things. It's YouTube. It's players now they have their own YouTube channel. They talk about their journeys. Like 6, 7 years ago, that wasn't a thing, you know. So I wish that was for me. But I think now players are so lucky because there's different avenues now you can take. You get to learn.
Mm, mm. So what do you think you did to set yourself apart to have that chance?
Yeah, I think the most important thing, you gotta love the game. You cannot fake it. There's only you can get away with it for so long, but I'm telling you, dude, you gotta love the game. You know, just to be in the presence of really good players, you can see how passionate they are about the game, how they live, breathe football 24/7. If you don't really enjoy it, you won't last. That's even in the from I would say U9s because all the way to professionals. If you don't love it, I think that's what set me apart. I really loved it. Um, I wanted just to play, just to play. And then fortunately, there's always, like I said before, timing was always something. Timing wise, I was in the right place. Some people say luck or anything. I was just in the right place at the right time, you know. But that's the one thing you really gotta love the game because at the end of the day, when it comes down to the grind of training, you know, you're doing 2 days, you know, you have to tell your friends, hey, sorry, I'm busy. I gotta go out and get my touchers, you know. I gotta watch film. I gotta run, you know. In the summer, especially now when it's really hot, and that's when you see who really loves it, who's out there doing this extra thing. So I think that's the one advice I would tell anybody. You gotta love the game.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good because I think that love will keep you going. I think is important to carry you through those tough times. But yeah, if you had the budget, a bit of a pivot here to the next question. If you had the budget, what kind of film or documentary would you make? And what kinds of stories do you think footballers specifically need to tell the world?
Yeah, I think it's just there. I would love to just to pick the brain of footballers today. You know, we can think about us, the stars in the game, the big players, just their journey. I think people think they all have the same story. You know, it's one straight they get from they were always good their whole life. They get to academy, they sign the first team. You don't really know the story behind it, like how adversity or just little things, what happened in their journey. I think just trying to learn from each one of them, like we talked about different type of players, like Elise, like I would love to just to hear his story, how from like what happened to him from 10 to like 15. I think he was at Queens Park Rangers or something like that before, and that's tough. Like playing in the lower divisions, just to just to see what motivated him. Like the Vitinha is like basically he flopped out at Wolves, like Wolves right now. Look at no shame to them, but they got relegated. He won the Champions League, the same year. Just I think people don't understand what it takes to make it at that level. They're the 1% of the 1%, or just even here in the U.S., just being able to make it in a Division 1 school, like how tough it is because there's so many kids that are playing, so many players. Not everybody's gonna play at a top school, at a top Division 1 school. I think just their stories, because it's not all the same. You hear crazy, crazy stories, different stories. Like, yeah,
Yeah. So, uh, you may have heard of Yan Diomande, a player that started in Florida, in Miami, and moved to Spain because teams in Florida didn't even scout him. And now he's
yeah,
playing for Leipzig, and now he's become one of the best wingers in the world. So why do you think it's difficult for U.S. scouts to find talent that they can't find in their own backyard? Why? How could a team like Leganes, halfway across the world, find Diomande in Miami and scout him when there are teams in Florida, numerous
yeah.
pro teams in Florida that couldn't? Yeah, what do you think about that?
I That's a long story, man. That's a long story. I think we can go in we can go
Yeah,
in different ways. I think it's just, I mean, first thing that is, I want to say that's such a typical American thing. I think it's for some reason we just can't figure it out. As a country of talent identification. You know, I'm sure you've met plenty of great, great players that you've seen, um, that you've played with or you've heard about. You're like, why isn't this guy not playing in the MLS or anything like the Tampa Bay Rowdies or what's down there, Miami FC or Jacksonville, those type of things. It's it's I don't know. I think it's again. There's a lot of layers. We can go with
sure,
US
sure.
soccer, we can go MLS. We can go. It's a lot, But
Mhm.
again, good for those guys. Again, it's just the timing of it. That's you always need that little bit of luck. Um, I don't want to say luck, but I just think it's the timing. Everything, the timing in a professional footballer's career, a professional athlete is so big. If you miss that timing, you just at the right spot at the right time. Just think about that. Like Leganes just happened to be watching a random UPSL game, and then they see this kid, and then they're just like, "Wow!" I think also he played at high school down there. Just it's tough. I don't know what's wrong with the system in the
Sure,
U.S.
sure.
Obviously, I think we all know it's not unified like we want it to be because there's so many talent. There's so much talent. Kudos to them. Kudos to Diamande. Hopefully he comes to Liverpool. So I've been hearing rumors.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's looking
But
pretty. It's looking like a rumor at
I
the
don't know.
moment.
Hopefully,
It's more than just interest, but yeah.
and he's hopefully he's. I heard his dad is a Liverpool fan. So
Okay.
so, so my
Do you
wife's
know?
up, bro. So
Yeah. Do you know like what they bid him? Like, what they bid for? Do you know what Liverpool sent? If they sent an offer to Leipzig yet or no?
yeah, I mean, I think they were talking about 100 mil. Leipzig they're gonna jack up the price. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, good for them. Hey, good business for them. But if a club like Liverpool is coming, all the big clubs, yeah, bro, try to get as much money as you can.
Yeah.
That's gonna
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Again, that's gonna help Leipzig with their scouting department, where they can find a player in Leganes, and then I'm sure Leganes got some money, and then they're finding kids in South Florida, which is which is good. I mean, we have I don't even know how many MLS clubs now, 32 or 31 or whatever, 30, and you're on paper those MLS clubs are each of them are probably worth more than Leganes in a sense, I bet, or the top MLS clubs, and they can't find talent in their own backyard. So it speaks a lot.
Yeah, yeah, we can write a
But
book on why the U.S. scouts fail. I think that's a whole another topic we can discuss on a different day. But cool, I appreciate your input on that. To wrap up, I want you to leave us with the story of your engine, and by that I mean what drives you, right? What drives you today? What drove you to pursue a career in the sport, and what is your reason for coaching and all that stuff now?
yeah, I mean, the, there's a few. One is just again the love of the sport, the love of the game. I think football has taught me so many lessons in life. How to be a man, how to be a friend, how to be a just a good person. Everything I've learned in a football field. Being in a locker room, there's no better feeling than that. I think now that I'm not playing, I miss that every single day. The training, day in and day out. You come in the locker room, you're hanging out with your friends. Guys that you go to battle with. Just those little things. Just the chat, the conversation you're having. There's no better experience than that. That goes, I think, in every sport. I think just that you gotta love the game. That's that's why even now I'm still coaching. Just want to instill that to the young kids that you cannot cheat the game. If you love the game is gonna reward you big time. And football has given me everything since I was a kid. I have friends from it, friends that are now family, even to this day. And then just hard work, just put in the work. That goes for any kid out there. Just put in the work, even if nobody's watching. I know now it's very easy to record everything in social media and stuff like that, but again, the game is going to reward you more than 15 seconds of fame that you can put it on Instagram that you're doing X, Y, and Z. Put in the work. Those are my two main points.
Okay, okay, those are good. And the next 5 years for you, Suli, what do you hope to accomplish in your life and your career?
Outside of football, start a family, having my own family. Career-wise, outside of football, just keep going in my career field. And then just hopefully my whole family is still in good health and enjoy time with family. I think that's very important, friends and family and stuff. Um, and then in football, again, I really enjoy coaching. I still get when I coach, I still get that excitement during the game that sometimes I get when I used to play daily in day out. So I want to learn, get better at coaching, learn different tactics, just read books about different managers, how they think, how they operate, and then just continue my coaching education. I'm looking to get into my B license soon, just to make connections in that and see where that leads me. So in the next 5 years, that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm
Okay,
excited about that.
right on, brother. Well, Suli, man, good to have you. Thank you for coming on here and sharing your perspective and your story. I think it's important with each episode that I do. There's an experience that's being shared between two people, and for others to watch as well. So I'm confident that people will see and hear your story and be inspired by it. So I want to thank you for coming on here and sharing that with us.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, man.
Hmm.
Anytime, hopefully
Hmm.
somebody will learn from this, and
Hmm.
again, even just one person, if it's a player out there, keep going. Again,
Hmm.
let the game will reward you. Don't chase anything. Just learn every day, work hard, and love the game. I think football. Anybody that's a footballer, ex-footballer, or coach, they'll tell you the same thing. You gotta love the game.
Absolutely, 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 man. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right, thank you, bro.
I'm Azzy Green, host of the Football Pantheon Podcast. Please subscribe for interviews, clips, and insights on the football, the facts, and the figures in the modern game.